Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning.
A podcast where we share with you great insights about everything family from over 30 years of parenting 7 kids and over a decade of equipping parents through our Crazy Cool Family ministry.
So let us inspire and equip you to build your best family.
Are you looking for an encouraging book to read? We wrote a book called Crazy Cool Family, and it's based on the 30 plus years of parenting from Don and Suzanne Manning. It's about all God has taught them about His heart for relationships. Do you want to read something engaging, funny, and it inspires you to love every person in your family? Then the book Crazy Cool Family is for you. Click the link in the show notes to purchase a copy today.
Hello. Welcome to 2025.
I love a new year. We're so glad you're out there listening to us today. We hope the new year has found you great. Here in Texas, we got a big fat snowstorm and it was lovely. Those of you that live in snow all the time, you're like, snow. But us Texans, we love it.
We get it back 2 days a year. So we were going through something the other day. It says there's winter in Texas, which comes about now when we get our first, maybe only snowstorm, but then there's second winter that comes about. It comes in
Easter,
around
whatever
Easter,
whatever.
And if you're from Texas or from this area, you know what that looks like. You start with about 2 patches of snow, and so we're getting over that. It's all warming up, and off we go. So welcome to 2025. And we are super excited to be here. Super excited to start 2025.
Mm-hmm. I think I've said this in every podcast that we have recorded in January, that there's an energy that comes with the new year. You know, there's this, you've got a clean slate. You're starting over. It reminds me of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And I think about that as the calendar flips to a new year. In the beginning of 2025, Don and Suzanne are going to...
I just think you like January because it's your birthday month.
Oh, most definitely. And my birthday's at the end of the month, so I celebrate all month long. Yep. Yes.
And we want to talk today just about launching the new year with you. We've got some great things planned for your Crazy Cool Family, and we hope you have great things planned for your family, that you do have that energy of a new year to bring to your family and to bring about hope, to bring about maybe some things you want to think about doing differently as a parent. And doing differently within your family. Remember, parents, you create the culture of your home. And so if you don't like it, guess what? You can influence it more than anyone, and you get to change it. So let's, so every year, also as Suzanne is full of energy about the new year and about to celebrate her birthday, then she also says, hey, here's a word for 2025. And if you go back to different podcasts, I don't know, I think you even wrote down the ones they are. So I think that you...
Yeah, and so I think we've done it a couple times, but I know that Macy and I recorded a full podcast. It's episode 151 if you want to go back, and it just talks about the word of the year. And every year, I mean, for Crazy Cool Family, we get a word, and then for our own personal lives, we get a word. And this year, I actually think for me, the word that I have for my life and for Crazy Cool Family has united, and it's the same word, which is super helpful because then I don't have to, focus on several different things, which is good because I'm all over the place. But this year's word that I feel like for Crazy Cool Family, and then for me too, is the word create. And I love it. Our pastor just talked about the creator, the creation, and the created, and that we get to partner with that. He's given us the job of being the creator with him, along with him. And so, as Don had kind of alluded to, we're very excited to share some of the things that we are going to create, have been creating, working on creating for you, the family, for the mom and the dad. What it is that you can do in your family in 2025 that's going to be different than you've done in the past, or better than you've done in the past.
Yeah, creation just... that's why in our Crazy Cool Family house, if you're familiar with that, we say that we create culture. We don't, we build relationships, but we create culture. And because it really is something that is created in your home.
Well, it's like to create means to cause to come into being, to evolve from one's thoughts and imagination. And so I just think about God taking the heavens and the earth and him molding and shaping them and making all the different things. And then when he takes man, he takes literally dirt and he blows air into it. And that's what we get to do when we create our culture, when we create the interactions that we have with our spouses and our kids. And so it's exciting to be able to get to kind of have a fresh start, if you will, with each new year.
Yes, and creation is, it's something that's creation itself just has energy. And so when you think about what you're creating in your home, it's not a daily grind. It is, wow, I get to create. I get to create a personality in my children. Mm-hmm. I get to create the atmosphere of my home. I get to, every time you walk into the room, you're creating something. And,
I love
so
that.
What is it that you want to create?
Yeah, I just love the word create itself. I love that you touched down that it does have an energy and it's got a positivity to it, that you're creating that. If you buy a new candle or a new rug or anything, a new pillow or something, you've actually changed what the environment looks like. You've created something different. We planted some new trees, some red tip petunias out there. Yeah. And so we're creating a barrier for one, between the neighbors. But that's
and think about this. You're always creating something in your home.
Yes.
So
it might not, while the word's positive, what you're creating might not be positive.
Well, it just depends on how you approach it. I mean, we can create, we can take on a project, and if we don't do it with excellence, we create junk, or, we create something that's a masterpiece because we've taken the time, effort, and energy to do it. And, so much of creation is our choice of what we're going to create. Mm-hmm. And at Crazy Cool Family, we, one of the things that I just keep thinking about for this year as we create, we love to create. We love the creation of content. We love the creation of things that are going to help you to take your family to the next level. Mm-hmm. And so we are really working hard on the things we're creating over here that, and I just feel like this is going to be, there's just something about 2025 in particular. I think it's COVID happened in 2020.
Right. So
this is 5 years from COVID. And I remember when COVID started thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long time to get over this. And it was, but it's also, it feels like that, things this year, it feels like we finally are getting released from some of the things that we had to deal with, in the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, for sure. I think that the hope of 2020, I think it's now got the same hope in 2025, if that makes sense. And I think 2020, we were like, we're going to change the world. 2020, we've got vision, like 2020, you can see and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, just the rug got pulled out from
under us. It just came crashing down, didn't it?
Yeah. And I've looked back at it, and I know it was tragic for some, but I look back and just, I guess now that it's 5 years in the past, and just laugh at, oh, wow, what we thought did not happen, and what we never even imagined totally happened.
Yeah.
And so I do think that 2025, that we put that behind us, let those things be behind us, look forward, look ahead to see what the Lord has for us. And I do think that your kids are 5 years older than they were in 2020. Maybe some of you've got new kids. We had several more. I mean, we had one grandchild born in 2020, and we've had...
Now we have 8.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to do the math on that. We've had 5 since then. And so...
or 7.
Well...
One day.
No, Bash and Truett were already here. So Bash and Truett and Everly were in 2020. So that's 3. So that's right. 5. That's 8. I was
just clarifying for the audience. If we started with 1 and we have 8, then...
No. But we already had 2 before 2020.
Then it would be 6.
And then Everly was 2020. That's 3.
So then there's 5.
Exactly. That's what I said. Well, me and my math. I'm never very good at it.
And so, we want to create for you in what we just keep hearing. We talk to churches, organizations, parents, kids all over the country all the time. Actually, I was on the phone today was on a WhatsApp call in Africa today with a partner we have there. Just constantly trying to push people along in the parenting journey, and what we find is two things that we want is you're creating your culture. There's two things that you can focus on in order to make sure that what you're creating is that masterpiece you want to create in your family. One of those is just to engage. It is so important that we engage with our family and engage in a healthy way. We try to teach how to do relationships in that. But so engagement is one thing. And the other thing is just to be a learner. So often, we see parents all the time that are just doing the same thing over and over again. And what's the definition of insanity? That we do the same things and we expect different results. We do the same thing that our parents did, or that's all we know. And so at Crazy Cool Family, we want to enlighten you. We want to challenge you. We want to bring out new ways of thinking so that you can then use the same effort or sometimes even less effort, but it turns out so much better because you know what you're doing and you know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and parenting's hard. I mean, those of you that are in the thick of it, if you will, if you've got the small children and it's constant, we know it's hard. We've lived it. We're on the other side of it, and it takes encouragement. It takes inspiration. It takes somebody coming along beside you and saying, you're doing a good job. And in this area, you could use some more help. And let's show you a better way to do that.
Yeah, it's being teachable. I think that's
where the learner part comes in. Yeah. I just think we have to learn. We don't know it all. We're never going to know it all in parenting. I mean.
Yeah, and so what we want to do, and one of our goals in 2025 is to make the teaching of parenting and the inspiration of parenting even more and more easier. One of the great things that did happen out of COVID was the idea of different ways of learning. Zoom calls are more prevalent than ever before. People taking courses now, and just different ways to learn. And so we are embracing that this year more and more.
And in fact, podcast. I think
podcast
that's
is another one. Yeah,
huge.
And even last year we came out with our daily email, which if you aren't subscribed to that, please go to our website and let us tap into you a little bit. I mean, basically we have had such great feedback with that of 1 to 2 minutes of encouragement a day, 1 to 2 minutes, just one little tidbit for you to take and to inspire you and to learn. And we get emails all the time about people just so excited about getting that daily email.
And I want to encourage you, too, that if you are listening to Crazy Cool Families, our podcast, which you're here with us right now, and you've subscribed to our daily email, then I just want to encourage you to invite your friends to do that as well. One of the things that we did as we were growing up is that we had a community with like-minded people. We were speaking the same language. And how beautiful would it be is if you meet together at Chick-fil-A with your kids and they're playing and you and your girlfriend are talking about whatever topic what was on the daily email. Did you see what they said? And they talked about, encourage extravagantly. Are you encouraging extravagantly, or is that really hard for you? And so I just think it's a great common ground. And then for your husband, your spouse too. I mean, I think that's a great place to have those parenting conversations that sometimes can be difficult because we're not on the same page with our spouse. But if you brought a neutral person in with the topic, then you can both share your opinions on it. That is what creating new parenting pathways looks like.
Yeah, I get so many parents tell me sometimes it's both ways. It's the husband forwarding the email to the wife or the wife forwarding to the husband. And they will say that my wife, for example, most of the time I'm talking to men, and they'll say, my wife forwards me your email. And I'm like, why don't you just subscribe to it?
Exactly. Sign up yourself, buddy.
but they don't.
Take a leap.
But one of the things we want to share.
But it is a way to connect, though. I mean, we're bashing on the guy, but it is a great way to connect and share something that resonated.
It's a great thing, and we're going to give you. Here's what's going to happen. Now I'm teasing this now because it's going to be second quarter before we roll it out. But we are going to.
Because unlike God, we cannot create things in 7 days.
Exactly, or in 7 weeks. It seems like sometimes, but. Maybe 7 years. But we are going to take the daily email and bring more to it and really streamline it even more, where what we found is that it's really hard to get parents to meet, but parents will digest information. And so we are going to go deeper with the way we help you digest. Remember about parenting, you just need it's this cycle of learning and application, learning and application, learning and application. And basically, you get that little tidbit of knowledge, and you go out. Sometimes for men, I do golf analogies, and I just say, think about trying to learn the nuances in the game of golf. You wouldn't learn it all in a weekend group of lessons. You would take a lesson, go out and play the game. You come back out and you take another lesson, and you do it over time. And over time, you look up and you're a much, much better golfer. The same thing with what we're going to do. And so we're super excited about what's going to come out in the second quarter with our kind of an enhanced platform that's going to help you really do some things to help you go to the next level in your parenting.
Yeah, and so for sure we are excited about that. And a couple things I want to share is that our theme for this year, where we're going to pretty much focus, is the parent to kid, kid to kid, kid to God. That's kind of where we're going to hang out. That's our sweet spot, if you will. We love to encourage parents in those areas. And with that, we would like to invite you to send in your questions, to email those in at info@crazycoolfamily. We're going to have some podcasts that are going to be based specifically on your questions. Also, we've written a few micro books. Bedtime is one, How to Overcome Anger with Your Family, 5 Keys to Stop Sibling Fighting. Those have been a huge success. And so we want to create some more. We want to write some more. And we want to meet you where you are. We have some ideas of some ones that we're going to write. But if you've got an idea, I really wish that the Mannings would talk a little bit more about this topic, then send that to us. Microbook idea at info@crazycoolfamily. Like Don said earlier, we love to create content. We absolutely love to do that. We believe that God has given us the gift of family, and with 30 years of experience and with some beautiful successes to the glory of God, we want, more than anything, our heart's desire is to share that with you so that you can be 30 years into parenting and say, I've got an incredible family, and I did this, and this, and it worked, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, actually, we even have something we call that. We've started to talk about how do you crazy cool parent that?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's thinking about, there's a lens of thinking with family that we want you to adopt with us. And the reason we want you to adopt is because we found that it works. And it works and it's based in God's word. It's relational. It's connective. It's fun. It makes family easy. And so we really do. We invite you to ask questions. And so, we did it with some with a couple of seminars this last year, and just looked at some topics and said, how do you crazy cool parent that? And it really got things very practical for parents. So, because there's two different types of learning with parenting. There's kind of the theoretical, and then there's also more of the theological, and then there's also the very practical. And so, but you can't just do the practical, because if you don't understand the why behind it, then you're not going to be able to do it. But you also need to be able to take that theoretical stuff and really take it into the trenches of parenting as well. I think also, I believe also we're going to challenge you. Well, and maybe I want to challenge you as parents anyway to go be discipled.
It's a new year. Challenges are great.
So to go think about how you're being discipled this year. One of the things we've found as we talk to parents all over the place is that many parents are broken people and trying to parent out of their brokenness. And so, and that may be because of the way they were raised themselves. It may be because of, events that happened in their lives. But, what we're very blessed with is our church helped us to be discipled. And discipleship's just like parenting. It happens over time. But my challenge to you as parents is to think about, as a parent, how you're being discipled. We're going to try to throw out some things this year in podcast and in the increased connectivity we're going to have with you through our daily email and things to challenge you with some things about yourself, because we always say that if the parents are doing well, then the kids will do well. And so we're going to work on that as well. So I just really challenge parents to think about where is God working in your life? How are you going to take a next step on your journey with Jesus?
And practically live that out. Yeah, I mean, you've got a new year. Once again, 2025. I love looking in the face of a new year and building all the ideas and expectations, if you will, and vision and all of those words, and seeing what is it that is before us. And we'll look, 6 months from now, we'll look at and we'll see what is it that was the chaff and blew away, and what is it that settled, and what's the important stuff. Is it creating, culture in your family? Is it discipleship? Is it being a learner? Pick something. Just pick something and go with it and get good at it.
Yeah, and that's how we'll wrap up the podcast today, is just what is it that, you want to see different in your family this time next year, even to say, because it takes that long to work on things. If there's one thing that we'll give you plenty more to think about as the year goes on, but for this year, for right now, for this month, for this week, what is it that you want to see different in your life, in your parenting, in your family, that you would, and write it down and put it somewhere where you can see it and say, it may be that I want to be more joyful with my family when I walk into a room. It could be, I am not going to yell at my children.
Right, or I'm going to play more with my children, or I'm going to speak in an honoring way to the people in my family, or I'm going to choose, fill in the word, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control, and in more situations than I did in 2024.
But be specific about it.
Right.
Write it down, because the enemy wants to distract you. The enemy wants to confuse you. And so, but when we write it down and we bring it to the Lord, then there will be order to it and there will be purpose to it. So, lots of things,
so many things. You've got to pick your word. You've got to write something. You've got to change something. You've got to listen to all the fun things we've got for you.
Just one thing at a time, though, and just let it drip. The key is that the way parents develop into excellent parents is to allow things to be dripped into them, and then they go practice them. Right. Then you come back and you get a little bit more of a drip. And guess what? That's the way we're setting up 2025 to be. We're so excited about what we're going to be bringing to you. We already do. If you don't have our daily email, that's the first place to start, and is to get involved. And like Suzanne was saying, and get as many parents involved in the daily emails you can, because we already have some great stuff, and it's going to be even better in 2025. So go get your one thing, write it down, and then also, if you're not signed up for our email, let's get going, because that's the way we're going to connect with you as well as this podcast for the future. Wrapping it up.
Yeah, let's go be crazy.
Go 2025. And we're excited to partner with you in the journey. Go be crazy parents, crazycoolfamily.com.